Yo, we're here with Luis Ponce, owner of Commercial Painting, and he has given us the time of day for his busy schedule to give us a bunch of golden nuggets. I came here from Oxnard, California, drove 4 hours over here just to spend a half day with him. Luis, thank you for your time, my man.
Man, welcome to the Bay Area. Right now we're in San Jose. This is kind of like a hood, right, of San Jose, but we're doing the exterior painting of this apartment. The team is almost done, so let's take a look and see what they're up to. I actually brought some cookies for them, so let's go. All right, Mr. Abad. So what I learned a long time ago is that anytime you can show up with any sort of food, you're gonna be received much better, right?
Yeah.
Coffee, when you buy them lunch, they love you, right? So I brought some chocolate chip cookies, you know? So
Yeah.
we're gonna
All right,
check
good.
in with the team, see how
Yeah.
they're doing. This apartment complex right here is almost complete. One of the things that we have to really focus on is keeping everyone safe, right? In an apartment complex, there's kids, right? There's just the residents walking. We got to make sure there's no tripping hazards. So we're focused on other aspects of safety and not just the painting, you know?
Got
So-
it, got it. Luis, let me ask you, like,
Yeah.
do you usually maintain 3 guys on this size of scope of work, or do you
Now, it really
usually
depends.
have a lot more?
It really depends on the timeline that they want the project done, because if you're too stretched out with a lot of work and the project takes longer, you may get a complaint. So for example, the residents get tired. They're like, man, when are these painters gonna finish it? Also, the customer, which in this case was a property manager, will also give you that call like, hey, when are you gonna finish? So you definitely wanna schedule as many painters to get it done in a timely manner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Hey, una galletita. A ver, venga, explíquenos qué método tiene para pintar un marco de estos. ¿Le echa primero con el rol o cómo?
No, pues se recorta con la brocha
Ajá,
y ya como acá al centro, pues ya se le rolea con la rolita.
se ve bien. Nice.
It's clean, man.
Nice,
Se mira bien,
nice.
bien limpiecito, nice and white. I like that.
Una galletita.
Shoo.
Yeah.
Sugar rush.
No estamos en dieta hoy.
These are the tactics, man.
Hey.
Tactics.
Oh,
Give them a
¿cómo
little
está,
sugar
Luis?
so they could go, you know? So they can move faster.
Una galletita.
No, sí,
Una
gracias.
galletita, ¿eh?
Está bien, gracias.
Y les voy a dejar esta. ¿Ocupan algo más hoy? ¿No?
Por ahorita no,
Ok.
ya todo bien,
Ya.
tenemos la pintura y todo.
Listo, listo.
When
Sí.
I was painting, I used to paint these type of houses. So it's actually pretty sweet to see the owner come over here and get, just show up. I didn't get to see that in the companies I used to work before. So it's actually really interesting how you see Luis interact, and that gives you kind of that sense of culture that we want to see in ASIS Painting. So being able to see that with somebody that has been doing it for a longer time, it's really interesting, and it makes you kind of just reflect and be more aware of, like, these are the things that you have to make sure that you maintain in your company. That shows a lot, and it just goes in depth of what he's trying to create in his company.
Yeah, I want to add to that. Great, everything that you said, but I do believe that you got to be intentional on the tone that you set when you arrive. So in the past, I think we've all made the mistake of coming to or arriving at a job site and right away pointing out the things that are wrong. And that creates a tone, right? And that creates a reputation of you nitpicking everything. And so it is important that you never forget to greet, ask people how their week was, and just make sure that you carry a good tone.
Yeah, it's a good tip right there, man. A lot of the times too, like when we're looking at painters or just other companies, you want to pinpoint like, oh, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. But it's not even that. It's just like the agreement that they go into, and it's just making sure that they understand what's actually involved in the project, and just being able to carry yourself like he has, and being able to kind of just introduce, get some information from his team members, and seeing how the project is moving along, and also being aware of how many people he has here, how long the project, making sure that we're taking care of like the property management company, and making sure that he's aligning all those things together are very important when you're taking on a project this size.
So one of the important things, no matter the job site on a commercial job, is making sure that you can store tools and materials safely. I don't know about you, but I've had tools stolen.
Yeah.
Previously, we got one of those like moving containers that are not meant for storing tools. They broke in, they stole a couple machines. So we upgraded to real job site containers. Like
Got
as
it.
you could see right
Yo,
here.
Check it out. We actually just got a power wash stolen from us too.
Yes.
Just this
yes.
week, bro. Yesterday.
Yeah, so it's super important. We also place it in a place where there's more visibility, right?
Yeah.
So we put it in front of the apartment complex, so there's more eyes on it.
Yeah.
If someone was to come in and try to break the lock, it would be noisy, it would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
visible. And yeah, so these are critical to being able to do a commercial job. And they're pretty cost effective. I mean, you're talking
really?
about 500 a month. That's nothing, you know, because
Yeah.
also the benefit is, let's say, you know, you bring all the tools once and they remain here for the duration of the project, and you don't need to have like a crew leader with the van. So it also helps that you can store all the materials, all the tools, and you don't need to have a foreman with the van.
Okay.
So big advantage.
Sweet.
In commercial repaints, they're not looking for top tier paints, and that's important to know because if you're quoting it with emerald, one, you're not gonna get the bid, right? So using products that are commercial grade, because they're not expecting this to last forever. They're actually, a lot of these properties, they already are on a maintenance schedule. They get painted every 7 to 10 years, and they've already factored in that maintenance cost, right? So they don't want to pay top dollar every single time because they know they're going to paint in 7 years or so. So we use the A100 from Sherwin-Williams on all our commercial projects. And we also like using Sherwin-Williams because how they're set up logistically. There's stores everywhere. Their delivery system is pretty good. And so that helps us scale as well because, you know, we don't have to drive to the stores. We can just use the app. We can just call and work with our rep for bigger jobs.
Yeah. One of the guys that we met with 2 weeks ago, he called it the Starbucks of paint. They call him the Starbucks of paint. It makes sense. It makes sense. And everything that you're giving me right now, the only thing that I would probably tell you, because some viewers, you know, they're painters and they're coming back, they're going into the industry and they believe that, you know, selling the higher grade paint is going to be more prominent, or they feel that it's going to be more important to the client. You've been in the industry and you probably know more information and the things that you've gathered. How has that, like when that question does come up, how do you overcome, or what is your rebuttal to that question to your project managers, or does that question even come up?
Choosing the product depends on what the customer is looking for, right? In that initial conversation, that phone call, if they're looking for top tier results, then we're gonna offer top tier products, right? If they're only looking for a repaint to do maintenance on the building, then there's no need. So it's all about understanding the needs of the customer, because if you always offer the Emerald product or the Benjamin Moore Aura without really digging in onto their needs, then you might miss out. So it literally just starts with understanding what the customer is looking for. And this is also important because once we know what the customer is looking for, we can communicate it to our team. So for example, if we were to go into a high-end build, right? They expect top tier painting. But if we're doing a repaint for a realtor that's gonna sell, I can guarantee you they're not expecting the top tier quality because they're gonna sell it. And they also wanna keep the cost down. So once you understand, you could not only price it accordingly, use the product that's according to that project, but you can also set the expectation for your team. There's conversations where I'm like, hey, on this one, it doesn't need to be perfect. They don't want it like that. As a matter of fact, it could affect you because it could delay the project because you're always trying to, you know, do it to perfection. So it's all about understanding your customer's
qualification.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool, man. Thanks, Luis.
Another thing that I gotta recommend that's a huge ROI on investment is a porta potty. Okay, so I don't know about you, but when people really have to go, bad things happen, right? They find a spot. The last thing you want is one of the painting team members to be peeing behind a bush or spending a lot of time trying to find a bathroom at the gas station. And nowadays, you know, you need a code and everything. This right here, just helps tremendously
Yeah.
just to keep them, you know, productive.
Productive.
So
yeah, makes sense.
they're like $300 a month. Boom, best investment ever.
All right, sweet.